What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to FBA Capital. And today I'm bringing you guys another daily range case study on Nas100, along with the weekly review on everything that happened this week. So let's get right on into this video. So first things first, we're going to start off on a 15-minute time frame as always, and I'm going to mark up the previous day's high and the previous day's low. So as you can see, today was an overall bearish day, and as you guys know, if you watched yesterday's video, you would understand that yesterday overall we had that bad CPI news that led price to have this major drop at 8:30 that led price to overall be bearish. So overall, that's why I was overall expecting price to potentially be bearish, because when price closed yesterday after having this engulfing, I knew that there was going to be a high chance that price could potentially come even lower. Now, if you look at where price ended up closing, we ended up closing in this fib long that I had drew from this low to this high up here, and you can see that price had this engulfing and ended up closing way lower. So that's overall why I expected price to be overall just bearish overall. And as you can see, we finally came and cleared this weekly low that we didn't break until today. So yesterday we finally cleared this weekly low, and we're overall going into a bearish week, and we're slowly moving into bearish market structure overall. So nonetheless, let's get back over here. Next thing I'm going to get is I'm going to get the previous day's Asian session range. Just like that. Make it orange, and then I'm going to mark up the 12 a.m. open, which is right here. So first thing I want you guys to pay attention to is right over here. This over here. This is where I personally was able to catch my sells from earlier this morning. If you were watching today's live stream, you would know that I was able to get these sells from here. Now, why was I looking for a sell here? Because for one, we cleared the Asian session high during the New York session. So this high was taken out during the New York session. Now, another thing I want you to realize is, what did I do? I pulled my fib from yesterday's high to the low down here. And if you don't know which low I'm talking about, from this high, so yesterday's previous high, to this low right here. Why this low? Because this is the low of the day currently, and this is the low that is within this overall range from here. Let me see. Let me get something else. From here to here, this is the range that's currently in. Now, we're only going to need the 38.20%, so let's just use that. And you can see we have this 38.20% rejection right here. And then we also have this 14,750 level. We're right at this 14,700 down here, but 750 is going to be our mid-figure level that price ended up withholding. So if we pull that all the way over, just like this, we rejected 14,750. Oh, get rid of that. We had this 38.20% rejection from this previous day's low, and we were overall in this bearish move. And then if you also look lower over here, we have this last down candle before this up move here. Now, what is that going to be? That is going to be our bearish 15-minute breaker block. And if you pull all the way over and take it even a step further and try to get the 50% of this, price almost tapped almost right into it, to the pip. Almost to the pip. It doesn't really get any closer than that. So we're going to mark this all up. We have the high of the day during the New York session. Now, when was this high of the day created? 9:45. What do we know about 9:45? That is early New York session, 15 minutes after the open. So 9:45, we ended up making that high of the day. From there, we had that 38.20% rejection. We also had that 14,750 mid-figure level. Also, we had that 15-minute bearish breaker block, along with clearing the Asian session high. So there was a lot of reason for me to believe that price was overall, I spelled that all wrong, Asian range high. So there was a lot of reason for me to believe that price was overall going to try to potentially continue moving short from here. And like I said, based off of the higher time frames, if you go to the daily, I was overall ready for price to overall continue moving higher. And then if you take it even a step further, go to the daily time frame. If you look at the previous day's candle, this daily bearish order block right here, just like this, go back to the lower time frame, zoom out, and look at that. Look at that. Precision for you. That is precision at its finest. So we're going to also have that as the last confirmation. Plus, we had that daily order block rejection. So there was a lot of reason for me to believe why I was expecting price to overall continue lower from this specific area up here. There was a lot of confirmation. Way more. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 confirmations, along with losing that momentum overall. And then from here, what did price do? It ended up coming and clearing this low down here, targeted the previous day's low, came back below this London session low down here, came past 14,500, came all the way down below to another big figure level, which is going to be 14,200, which is another big figure level that I like to trade off of. If you know the big figure levels I trade off of, you would know that the 200 levels tend to be areas that I like to see price trade off of. Now you can easily see that this was a very clean trade. This is not something I was able to hold the whole trade because I did get in early. I got in around here, was able to capitalize on about 77 pips, got out at a 1 to 5, and then this move up here at 945 is I got stopped out at break even, and then it ended up continuing lower. But at the end of the day, I didn't really care that it went higher because I was still able to make the money I made, and I was still able to capitalize on that trade. So nonetheless, it was still a good trade. So this was an amazing trade right here. And then if you go to the higher time frames, like I said, if you go to that higher time frame, where did price target? It targeted that fib on the higher time frame that I had. So if you do this, move it over just like that, go back to the 15-minute. I'm gonna move it over a little bit more just so you can see the numbers, just like this. Go back to 15-minute. We also came right into this fib short, not fib short, fib long. So we made the low of the day at what time? This is early, not early. This is around 13, 14, 15, around 3 o'clock, around 3 p.m. I'm gonna say 3 p.m. We made the low of the day. Plus we tapped into that fib long, along with tapping into that 14,200 big figure level. And this is overall where price ended up closing for the day on the Friday. So overall, this week has been bearish. Nothing really crazy. But now let's say, what if you missed this trade here? What could you have done to potentially catch this move? Now, if you zoom in a little bit lower and look at right here, if you pull your fib from this high, I use candlesticks. I don't like to use the wicks when I draw my fibs. I like to use the bodies of candles. So if you do that, pull it over, and now if you don't know where I drew the fib from, I'm gonna mark it up with the circle. So I drew it from this high to this low here, and then what did we get? Price retraced right back into this bearish 15-minute order block to the pip, along with that fib short at the 70.50%. So if you look at how clean this was right here, so I'm also going to mark that up there. So this is a possible re-entry, and this was at 10:30. So we had a re-entry possibility at 10:30. So at 10:30 a.m., we had the fib short, plus we had that 15-minute order block rejection. And then from here, price ended up targeting the previous day's low right here. Targeted the previous day's low. And what do we know about targeting the previous day's low? Overall, we already showed a willingness that price wanted to clean the previous day's low, because as you can see early here in early London session, price already cleaned that low. And when it came back up, had this retracement, came above this high, tapped into that 38.20% level, came down, had a potential retest, and then from here, price ended up dropping about 500 pips in total, which is a crazy move. Crazy move. Risking the smallest amount possible on a 0.01 lot size, you could have potentially made $500 on this trade. And even if you would have got in at the re-entry and got in, that's still 460. And if you even would have just held to 62%, that still would have been 290, which is crazy. Crazy amounts that you can make on a day-to-day basis. And this is something that happens every week, every day, every month. So now let's get the schematic of overall everything that happened. So as you can see, Asian session, we ranged. Then London session came, we cleared that Asian session low, had a retest, cleared that Asian session high during the New York session, came down, had a retest, and then from here, price overall continued to push lower to end the day off, just like that. So I'm going to put this right over here. And this is overall what happened. Today was a bearish London continuation, not bearish London continuation, bearish New York reversal. Why? Because New York session made the high of the day, and then from there, price overall continued to move bearish based off a higher time frame premise. So this is overall what happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this screenshot. We're going to make sure we save that. And now we're going to overall look at what happened throughout the whole week. So now that we see everything that happened throughout today, we're going to look at what happened throughout the week. So make sure you screenshot this if you haven't already, because I'm going to get rid of it all. Now we're going to go to the hour time frame. I'm going to get the day of the week. So right over here is Sunday. So why do I want to go into the hour time frame? Because it gives it a little bit of a clearer thing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to mark up the previous week's high and the previous week's low. So the previous week's low is right here. I'm going to mark that up, previous week's low. And then we got the previous week's high right up here. So the previous week high was not violated. Why wasn't it violated? Because overall, price wanted to keep that, not previous week's low. Price overall was bearish still. So if you understand, it's the same thing that we do with the daily candles. We understand that overall, if we're going to be bearish, we're going to be wanting to continue to move past that previous week's low. Same thing if we're bullish, we would want to move past that previous week's high. Same thing that we do. I'm going to get the open. So right where the market opened, right over here, this is where you would have been getting the best possible sell and buy entry. So if you look at this right here, right where we sold off, pay attention to how it came up today. This is today. Had that engulfing right when it came up above this 12 down. I was going to say 12, right above that weekly market open. So it's the same thing that we do with the daily basis, but on the weekly basis now. So it came above and gave you that chance to potentially short. And all these entries, everything above this weekly open would have been where you would have been wanting to potentially short. So all above is where you would have been wanting to short. Why? Because this is where everything was overall bearish. And if you're looking for a bearish week, we understand that yes, last week was bearish, so we understand this week could potentially be bearish too. So we're going to be looking above this weekly area for potential short opportunities. And now that we know we're up here looking for short opportunities, what can we do? We're going to get our FEB from that previous week's high to this previous week's low, pull it over, and look at that. You have this FEB short right up here. So from the previous week's high where we drew that FEB to this low from the previous week, you had this retest at where? Look at the big figure level at 15,000. It's almost too clean, guys. It's almost too clean. I can't explain to you how clean this is. Make it 15,000. Just like that. So look at this. We got the high of the week during what day? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday we got the high of the week. So high of the week. Plus we had this FEB short. Spelled that wrong. FEB short at the 15,000 level. So 15,000 big figure level. Look at how clean this is. You can't tell me this isn't clean. And then where did we end up making the low of the week? We ended up making the low of the week after trading into that 14,200 level. Right here. I'm going to just put it right there. 14,200. Just like that, we ended up making the low of the week right there. And then what also did we do? We ended up trading right below that previous week's low. So we got the low of the week after trading below the previous week's low at a big figure level. So low of the week plus 14,200. So this is overall a good example of a bearish week right here. A clean bearish week. All we could have done, if you would have just waited for price to potentially all you would have needed is that one trade to come above the weekly open, came above the weekly open. So I'm going to just put this right here, the market open price came up right into our big figure level, right into our FIB short above the open. So you already know that price is going to have a willingness to come lower. And if you take it a step further and look even to the left, look at this last up candle before that overall down move. It doesn't get any cleaner than that, guy. It really doesn't. And this happens on a weekly and monthly basis. The same things happen. So just like that, what am I going to do? I'm just going to draw a little premise of where it opened. So this is where the market opened. Made the high of the week up here. And ended up coming all the way down here, making the low of the week. And then closed off right here. And the reason I like to use candles like this is because it gives you a good example of how the market moves overall. I like doing this because it shows me how the market likes to move, and it gives me good examples of what to potentially anticipate for the next following week and weeks to go on. So just like this, go like that, make it nice and clean. Look at that. Look how clean that is here. I'm going to make this a little bit darker just so you can see, not the inefficient range, right over here. Make it a little bit darker so you can see right where the market opened. Right, the market opened here. Monday, Sunday right here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday made the high of the week, right on Wednesday. Friday made the low of the week. And we know that. Why? Because based off of studies, Friday tends to have that continuation move. So when you're looking for the best possible opportunities during the week, you're going to be looking for them between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Those are going to give you the best days that you're going to be able to catch the overall trend of the week. So overall, what am I going to do now? I'm also going to get a screenshot of this, and I'm going to make sure I send it in the chat, and I'm going to make sure I study this, because these things happen every week and every month. So you want to be able to study these, because if it happened once, it's going to happen again. And if it happens twice, it can happen 4 times. It happens 4 times, it can happen 8 times. And the process keeps going, because the market has algorithms that happen over and over and over. And if you can spot these patterns that the algorithm does, you can make money consistently in the market over time. So without further ado, I hope this video was being able to help you in any way, shape, or form. If it did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned for Sunday with the market analysis, the weekly market breakdown. So that's really it. Had a good week. Ended the week off with about 10% gain. So we'll see what happens next week. Take it day by day. Without further ado, make sure you stay motivated by the fear of being average. And I'll see you guys in the next video.